Why men over 40 are choosing bachelor life forever psychology tricks. In recent years, a growing number of men over 40 have begun to view marriage not as a fulfilling milestone, but as a risky proposition. This shift is not driven by loneliness or resentment, but by a deliberate decision rooted in strategy and self awareness. These men have analyzed the situation, weighed the risks, and concluded that a life of independence and tranquility far outweighs the uncertainties and challenges that come with commitment. What's happening is more than just a fleeting trend, it's a profound cultural shift. This isn't about men who can't find partners. It's about men who no longer wish to engage in a system where the odds often feel stacked against them. This societal change goes beyond the realm of dating. It touches on the broader evolution of relationships themselves. According to 2021 Pew Research, a significant 25% of 40-year-olds have never been married, with men leading the charge. Specifically, men at age 40 remain unmarried, compared to 22 of women, signaling a larger movement away from traditional marriage. But why is this the case? Why are men, many of whom are in their prime earning years with established careers, opting to remain bachelors? The reasons are complex. Legal risks, the overwhelming nature of digital dating, and a deeper appreciation for personal freedom all contribute to this decision. The world has changed, and so has the social contract that once defined relationships. For many men, the terms no longer seem worth accepting. These men aren't running from commitment, they're simply making an informed choice. By carefully evaluating the landscape, they've reached a conclusion that aligns with their personal priorities. Their freedom is the most valuable thing they possess, and they are choosing to protect it at all costs. As we explore this phenomenon further, it's crucial to understand the fears and frustrations driving this decision. These aren't unfounded anxieties. They're based on real concerns about a system that many feel no longer serves their best interests. The greatest freedom is to choose the path that aligns with who you truly are. This shift is more than just a rejection of marriage. It's a declaration of autonomy, a call for personal empowerment, and a choice for peace of mind. 1. The crushing weight of divorce. As men over 40 contemplate the prospect of marriage, there's a pressing issue that can't be ignored: the crushing weight of divorce. The statistics speak for themselves. While it's often said that half of marriages end in divorce, the latest data paints a slightly less bleak picture, with first marriages falling closer to 41%. Still, those aren't great odds. It's essentially like flipping a coin and hoping you don't lose. But the stakes? Oh, they're much higher than losing a bet. A failed marriage for a man over 40 could mean losing his home, his hard-earned savings, and even his financial future. And the impact isn't theoretical, it's something that many have seen firsthand. They've witnessed friends, family, and even themselves invest decades into building a family and a career, only to find themselves in their 50 seconds, living in a tiny apartment with their net worth wiped out and retirement plans shattered. The financial fallout of divorce is nothing short of catastrophic, with the average cost running between $7,000 and $15,000 before factoring in any bitter disputes over assets. And then there's alimony, another dreaded financial anchor. Sure, laws may claim to be gender neutral, but the reality is that men are still the primary alimony payers. It's not that they're against supporting their former spouses, it's the long-term commitment that's terrifying. The idea of being shackled to payments that last for years, long after the love has disappeared, is a weight no man wants to bear. For men who've worked tirelessly to build their wealth and careers, the thought of that being ripped away by the legal system is beyond daunting. It becomes less about love and more about risk assessment. The potential cost of divorce, both financially and emotionally, is just too great to ignore. And it only gets worse with each failed marriage. While 41% of first marriages end in divorce, that number skyrockets to over 60% for second marriages and can hit an alarming 73% for third marriages. For a man over 40 who's already been burned once, the thought of rolling the dice again is no longer a hopeful leap of faith. It feels like a reckless gamble. He's learned the hard way that the system can turn his world upside down in an instant. That's why more and more men are choosing bachelor life forever, unwilling to risk their financial stability or personal peace. Understanding female psychology and the delicate dynamics of relationships isn't enough to overcome the harsh realities of divorce. And when it comes to figuring out how to fall in love again, men in this age group often question whether the potential rewards outweigh the very real risks. You must think carefully about the consequences before committing to another relationship, because one bad decision could cost you everything. Psychology tricks may work on the surface, but understanding the true emotional toll of marriage at this stage in life can be a game changer. So, before you even think about jumping back into the dating pool, ask yourself, is it really worth the risk? 2. The soulless grind of modern dating. Modern dating feels like a soul crushing obstacle course, and for men over 40 years old, it can seem like an endless, exhausting struggle with no meaningful reward at the end. The dating scene today is no longer a place for connection, but a competition, one where your profile is just a snapshot, and your worth is judged by a few pictures and a witty bio. It's a high pressure game where snap judgments and superficiality reign. Let's face it, the apps aren't designed to foster true relationships. They're designed to keep you swiping, endlessly chasing the illusion that someone better is always just one more swipe away. It's not your fault, it's the system. The truth is, the system is stacked against you. The overwhelming flood of profiles creates something called choice overload, making it almost impossible to focus on any one person long enough to build a connection. The app setup encourages endless comparisons, leaving you feeling like you're always in competition with a better version of yourself or someone else, for that matter. And when things don't click right away, it hits your self esteem hard. Studies are starting to show how this digital mess is taking its toll on men's mental health. A survey revealed that 58% of people say modern dating is negatively impacting their mental well being, and research consistently backs this up. Men, in particular, report a marked decrease in self esteem compared to those who avoid dating apps altogether. Why? Because the whole system is based on a constant cycle of validation and rejection. As a man in his 40s, you might find yourself swiping right on almost everyone just to get a few matches, only to be left wondering why your own profile gets so few likes. The result? A crushing sense of invisibility, of being unwanted and unworthy. It's not about blaming women. It's about understanding that these platforms are engineered to keep you feeling like there's always someone better, always a better match just around the corner. It's a trap that makes it hard to focus on what really matters: true connection. Being ghosted, unmatched, or discarded with the flick of a thumb becomes the new norm. But for men over 40, this feels like a waste of time and energy that could be better spent on pursuits that actually matter. The whole process feels juvenile and draining, like you're playing a digital game of hot or not, where your true self is nothing more than a product on display. No man wants to keep spinning this wheel when the stakes are real. And let's be honest, men who have built themselves into high-value men, men with purpose, success, and experience, aren't interested in participating in this juvenile charade. They want more. They want a real connection, someone who appreciates their masculine energy, someone who sees them for who they are, not just for how they look or what they can put on display. It's no wonder, then, that many men over 40 are walking away from dating apps altogether. They're recognizing that these platforms, designed to bring people together, are actually doing the opposite, making them feel more isolated, more lonely, more disconnected from anything meaningful. A study found that 74% of users felt frustrated with the process, and 54% said it made them feel more isolated. The paradox is painful. The tools meant to connect people are often the ones driving them further apart. So, what's the solution? It's simple. Don't waste your time on a rigged system. You must put your energy into what truly matters, what brings you real rewards. Pursue hobbies, cultivate friendships, focus on your career, and nourish your inner growth. For the man who values his time, his energy, and his sense of self, this is the logical choice. A high-value man knows that his masculine energy is his strength, and he doesn't need to play the dating app game to attract women. Instead, He focuses on being the best version of himself and lets that confidence and purpose draw the right people into his life. No more swiping through endless profiles or feeling invisible, because ultimately, a man who values himself doesn't need to play by anyone else's rules. He knows that true connection is worth far more than a fleeting match on a screen. In the end, you don't need to keep subjecting yourself to this exhausting process. Don't be a part of a system that drains you. Be the man who chooses quality over quantity, who values real connections, and who doesn't settle for anything less than what he deserves. In this world of instant swipes and digital distractions, that's what truly makes you stand out as a high value man. If you're tired of the endless grind of modern dating and ready to reclaim your time and energy, drop a comment below right now. I choose real connections over digital games. Like this video, subscribe for more powerful insights, and remind yourself daily your worth isn't defined by a swipe, it's defined by your purpose. 3. The impossible standard of the modern man. As men age, particularly those over 40, the pressure of modern relationships in today's rapidly changing world, many men over the age of 40 are increasingly opting for the bachelor life. And this choice is not just about avoiding relationships. It's about stepping back from the overwhelming, often contradictory expectations that society places on them. Men today are being asked to play a multitude of roles: provider, protector, partner, leader, all while navigating a maze of modern ideals. The expectations are not only unrealistic, but also conflicting. Men are told they must be successful, strong, and reliable, yet simultaneously vulnerable, emotionally available, and sensitive. They're expected to lead in their careers and personal lives, but also share every responsibility equally with a partner. There's no room for error, no space to relax, and it's causing significant stress. The weight of these conflicting roles is exhausting. Each role requires constant balancing, like walking a tightrope, and one misstep can lead to criticism. No matter how hard they try, it seems that no man can ever meet the full spectrum of modern expectations. The pressure is unrelenting. This has resulted in many men feeling like they're performing, trying to check off a checklist of traits and behaviors that don't always align with their true selves. This sense of performing has become a major factor in the decision to embrace the bachelor life. For men over 40, especially those who grew up with a more traditional understanding of masculinity, this new, contradictory landscape is overwhelming. They've worked hard, sacrificed their time, and played the role of the provider and protector, only to feel undervalued in return. As the old Stoic wisdom goes, the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Modern expectations are outside their control, and no matter how much effort they put in, these expectations can never truly be met. This leads to frustration, disillusionment, and ultimately, the decision to step away from it all. Many are choosing to live alone, to embrace the bachelor life as a way to define their own terms, live by their own rules, and free themselves from the constant pressure to be everything to everyone. The issue isn't just about the specifics of what society expects, it's the sheer weight of those expectations all at once. Men are expected to be ambitious and career-focused, but they also need to prioritize emotional availability, intimacy, and the well-being of their partner. If they work long hours to provide for the family, they are often criticized for being emotionally distant. If they spend time at home trying to nurture a relationship, they're accused of lacking drive or ambition. This contradictory dynamic leaves many men feeling stuck in a no-win situation. The sacrifice of traditional male roles, working hard to provide, taking on the emotional burden of leadership, has come to be largely unappreciated, even as society still expects men to fill these roles. Men find themselves at a crossroads, feeling trapped in a cycle of trying to fulfill expectations that never seem to end, all while sacrificing their own peace of mind and happiness. This pressure creates a profound sense of disillusionment, particularly for men who were raised in a different era of masculinity, where traditional roles were clearer and more straightforward. For these men, the constant judgment, the need to perform, and the contradiction of modern ideals becomes exhausting. It's not just about feeling misunderstood, it's about recognizing that the expectations have become impossible to meet. It's about realizing that no matter how hard they try, they'll never be able to satisfy all the different roles they are expected to play. And in this realization, many are finding freedom. The bachelor life offers an escape from this pressure, a place where men can truly be themselves, free from the judgments and contradictions of modern masculinity. It offers the chance to define one's life on one's own terms, without the burden of trying to fit into a mold that doesn't fit. To thrive in this modern world, one must embrace the old Stoic wisdom that teaches us how to control what is within our power and let go of what is outside our control. This is the foundation of the Iron Mind philosophy. Men over 40 are recognizing the truth in this ancient wisdom. No matter how hard they try, they cannot control the expectations placed upon them, and trying to do so only leads to frustration and burnout. What they can control is their own behavior, their own decisions, and their own path. The Stoicism win is about finding strength in accepting that you are the master of your destiny. No longer should a man measure his worth by external standards or try to please others. Instead, he must learn to value his own sense of self and his own journey. The decision to choose bachelorhood isn't a rejection of intimacy or commitment, it's a decision to reject external validation. It's about reclaiming personal power and living life on one's own terms. For those who grew up in an era where masculinity was more rigidly defined, the decision to embrace the bachelor life is a form of liberation. It's a declaration of independence, a refusal to play the endless game of trying to meet conflicting expectations. It's about taking back control, finding peace in solitude, and choosing a path that is aligned with personal values, not societal pressures. By rejecting the contradictory ideals that have come to define modern masculinity, men are embracing the true power of the iron mind. This iron mind is not about harshness or rigidity, but about clarity of purpose, emotional strength, and the courage to live authentically. As we move further into the 21st century, men are waking up to the reality that the old models of masculinity no longer serve them. Instead of conforming to impossible standards, they are learning to redefine success. Success is no longer about meeting someone else's idea of what a man should be. Success is about mastering your own mind, living by your own rules, and pursuing a life of purpose and fulfillment. By choosing the bachelor life, men over 40 are choosing a path of strength, freedom, and self-mastery. They're embracing the wisdom of the past and applying it to their modern lives. As the Stoics would say, "He who is brave is free." The bachelor life is a brave life. It is a life lived on one's own terms, free from the judgment of others, and full of the potential for true happiness and self-fulfillment. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to live a certain way. Master your own life. Own your decisions. You are in control. This is your victory. This is your time to win. The iron mind, the Stoic win, is yours for the taking. Embrace it. 4. The disappearance of societal pressure. For ages, men had their lives mapped out for them. Get up, get a job, marry, have kids. It wasn't just advice, it was a commandment. Being a bachelor past a certain age was a mark of failure or oddity, something to be avoided at all costs. But let's be real, that script is now irrelevant. In today's world, individuality reigns supreme and authenticity is king. Traditional expectations have faded, and with them, the heavy weight of societal pressure that once demanded every man fit a certain mold. The idea that a man must marry by a certain age to be considered successful or whole is fading into the past. The bachelor over 40 is no longer a social outcast. He's a symbol of independence and self-determination. That's right. Being single at 45? It's no longer a stain on your reputation. Instead, it's seen as a testament to personal freedom, to a life lived by choice, not by obligation. And trust me, this shift is huge, yet it's often overlooked. Men are choosing bachelorhood not in defiance, but because society has given them the green light to do so. The old pressure to marry, to settle down, to conform, has almost entirely vanished. That's one of the major reasons why more and more men are opting for bachelor life forever. Want some proof? Consider this. In 1980, only 6% of men over 40 had never been married. By 2021, that number shot up to 25%. That's not just a fluke, it's a sign of the times. More and more men and women are rejecting the traditional paths laid before them. As of 2021, 22 of women at 40 have also never been married. This isn't just about men, it's a cultural reset. Marriage, once seen as the ultimate goal, is now being reevaluated by a large chunk of the population. With societal pressure lifted, men finally have the space to think for themselves. No more feeling like they must get married just because that's what society told them to do. The modern man is asking, is this what I truly want? Does this enhance my life? Now, they can make an honest, clear-headed decision, free from external influence. And when they weigh the pros and cons, for many, the cost of marriage just doesn't add up. It's not about being selfish. It's about making the best choice for their happiness. This movement isn't a retreat from life, it's a shift towards something more deliberate. A bachelor lifestyle over 40 isn't about loneliness or regret, it's a strategic decision. Men today are creating a life that prioritizes personal freedom, not compromise. They're in control of their own destinies. It's a life they've carefully designed to suit their own desires, not anyone else's expectations. And while some might look at the idea of being single as a loss, these men see it as a powerful gain. They're not avoiding relationships. They're simply choosing not to settle for the conventional. They're high-value men, carving out lives that reflect their unique vision of success. In fact, many of these men understand their value more than ever. With their masculine energy channeled into personal growth, career success, and fulfilling hobbies, they're attracting women, not out of need or desperation, but from a place of confidence and self-assurance. Their independence isn't a sign of failure, it's a mark of strength. These men know that attracting women isn't about conforming to outdated norms or settling for someone who doesn't match their vision. It's about embodying the qualities that make them high value, qualities that naturally draw women in. So, don't let anyone make you feel lesser for choosing bachelorhood after 40. Be the architect of your own life, a life filled with meaning, excitement, and freedom. You must stop living by others' standards and start living on your own. Life isn't about following some predefined path, it's about creating the life you want. That's what high-value men do. They don't settle for what society tells them they should want. They take the time to carefully assess their desires and choose accordingly, all while keeping their masculine energy sharp and focused. You must embrace your independence and remember, the freedom to choose, the power to shape your own story is yours. It's time to take it. If you resonate with the power of living life on your own terms, comment below and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more empowering insights. Comment to remember, my life, my rules, no compromises. 5. Financial freedom and independence. Let's face it, money matters. It's not just about having a pile of cash, it's about freedom, control, and the ability to live life on your own terms. As a man over 40, you've put in the work, built your career, and accumulated wealth. You've earned every dollar. So, why would you risk that hard-earned financial independence in a relationship that could drain your resources or, even worse, tie you down to someone whose goals don't align with yours? You've become a high-value man, and part of that value comes from your ability to manage your finances, protect your assets, and live a life that suits you. Whether it's a successful business, a flourishing career, or a solid investment portfolio, your financial freedom is something you're not eager to give up. Don't let anyone take that away from you. The idea of sharing finances in a marriage or a partnership is often a deal breaker for men who have reached a certain level of success. Relationships are supposed to enhance your life, not complicate it. When you've worked so hard to secure your financial future, the last thing you want is someone making demands on your money or trying to control how you spend it. Be honest with yourself. How many times have you watched a friend or colleague get tangled up in the compromises and sacrifices that come with a serious relationship? How many times have you seen a man in his 40s or 50s struggle with the question of whether to spend his money on something he truly wants or whether he should prioritize someone else's needs first? That is the reality of marriage for many men. It's not just about love and connection. It's about decisions that affect your lifestyle, your finances, and your future. Marriage often means you have to share everything. That includes your income, your savings, and your investments. You may be expected to support your spouse's goals, even if they don't align with your own. Don't be fooled into thinking that all relationships are based on mutual respect and understanding of your financial independence. In many cases, the minute you tie the knot, your financial autonomy is compromised. A man who's built something from the ground up knows the value of keeping control. Why would you hand over the keys to your kingdom unless it's someone who truly adds value to your life? You've worked hard to get to this point. You must remember that it's okay to prioritize yourself and your own happiness. Bachelorhood isn't just about avoiding relationships or keeping your options open. It's about maintaining your independence, your financial freedom, and your ability to live life exactly as you see fit. When you're single, you call the shots. You decide where your money goes, what investments to make, and how to use your time. You don't have to ask anyone for permission to make a purchase or take a trip. Everything you have is yours, and you've earned it. Imagine the peace of mind that comes with knowing that no one is going to question your spending habits or your investments. You can choose to spend your weekends doing what you love, buying the things you desire, and exploring the world on your own terms. This is the power of financial independence, and it's something you must cherish. You may be wondering, how does this tie into psychology tricks or understanding female psychology? Here's the thing. Women are often drawn to men who exude confidence, success, and financial stability. It's not just about how you look or how charming you are, it's about the life you've built for yourself. Women respect a man who can stand on his own 2 feet, who doesn't need anyone to validate his worth, and who has the financial independence to live life his way. But here's the kicker. If you choose bachelorhood over marriage, you're not just preserving your money, you're also protecting your peace of mind. The last thing you need is to constantly question how someone else's financial goals align with yours. Instead, you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, take calculated risks, and make decisions that move you forward without having to worry about someone else's opinion. Be clear about what you want. If you want to maintain your financial independence, bachelorhood is the best choice for many men over 40. It's not about being selfish, it's about safeguarding your future. After all, there's a difference between being alone and being free. When you're single and financially independent, you can make choices that are in your best interest without feeling the pressure of compromises that could hold you back. Here's where the psychology tricks come into play. Understanding how to fall in love isn't just about wooing someone with charm. It's about ensuring that any relationship you enter adds something meaningful to your life. Relationships should never take away from your financial freedom unless the partnership is one of true mutual benefit. And if you're not finding that, it's okay to walk away and continue enjoying your life on your own terms. Understanding female psychology also plays a role here. Women are often attracted to men who are secure in themselves, who don't need them for financial support, and who live life confidently. So, don't think that giving up your hard-earned wealth for a relationship that doesn't benefit you in return will make you more attractive. Quite the opposite, it can make you seem desperate, dependent, and ultimately unattractive. So, keep your financial freedom intact. Don't settle for less. Let your independence be the foundation of your confidence and success. Relationships should be built on trust, love, and shared goals, not on compromises that undermine your autonomy. That is the true power of being a high-value man in your 40s and beyond. Keep your financial independence, protect your peace, and never forget the value of living life on your own terms. 6. The freedom to pursue passions and hobbies. Men over 40, particularly those who have dedicated decades to building successful careers and navigating life's responsibilities, are finding that bachelorhood offers a rare, powerful opportunity for personal fulfillment. The old Stoic wisdom, freedom is the only true happiness, rings more true than ever for this group. After years of sacrifice, personal growth, and responsibility, they now seek something different, something that grants them the freedom to live on their terms. A life where they no longer have to compromise on what truly matters to them. They've come to realize that, while relationships and family may have their place, the pursuit of personal passions and interests is what gives life its deepest meaning. And this freedom, this choice to live fully on your own terms, is not simply a way to avoid responsibility. It is a conscious, empowered decision to prioritize what brings true satisfaction. You, as a man who has already spent decades developing your career and life, have earned the freedom to pursue your passions without the constraints of compromise. No longer do you need to cater to the schedules, needs, or expectations of others. The iron mind you've cultivated over the years has given you the clarity to understand that your time, energy, and resources are yours alone to command. The hustle of building a career, raising a family, or fulfilling the expectations of others can often lead to the stifling of one's true self. But bachelorhood after 40 gives you the space to thrive. As you embrace this phase of life, you now have the luxury to invest in what you love, whether that's traveling the world, engaging in sports or physical challenges, pursuing music, or building entrepreneurial ventures. It's no longer about living to please others, it's about living for yourself. It's a conscious decision to do what fills you up, not what drains you. The wisdom of Stoicism offers deep insights into this philosophy of personal growth. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, said Marcus Aurelius. When you choose to live as a bachelor over 40, you are taking charge of your happiness by choosing your thoughts and actions deliberately, focusing only on the things that contribute to your personal growth and fulfillment. You are no longer beholden to the pressures and compromises of traditional relationships. Your decisions are now guided by your values, your passions, and your unwavering sense of purpose. You've already mastered the art of building a successful career, cultivating your independence, and developing your resilience. Now, it's time to put that same effort into building a life that serves your deepest desires and highest potential. Let's be honest, bachelorhood after 40 is not about avoiding responsibility. It's about embracing your own personal sovereignty. It's about building a life that aligns with your deepest passions, values, and long-term goals. And it's about using your time wisely. As Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." How many men live their entire lives trapped in relationships, responsibilities, and obligations that prevent them from becoming the best version of themselves? They waste time. But you don't have to. You must take control of your time. You must refuse to let the distractions of life steer you away from what you truly desire. If you've reached this point in your life, you know exactly what you want. It's time to act on it. You've spent years developing your masculine energy, honing your independence, and refining your character. Now is the time to use this self-mastery to elevate your life to new heights. Your bachelor life over 40 is not about being alone or avoiding commitment. It's about choosing your path with clarity and determination. It's about creating the life you want, not the life society expects of you. As you embrace this freedom, you are called to grow beyond the boundaries of traditional thinking, to master your own destiny, and to forge ahead with the wisdom and power you've accumulated over the years. Do not waste time on what you cannot control, the Stoics teach us. Take this advice to heart. Control what you can, your time, your choices, and your growth. The rest will fall into place. And don't be afraid of embracing the solitude that often comes with bachelorhood. Solitude is not weakness, it is strength. It is in these quiet moments that you can hear the voice of your true self. It is in these moments that you can build the iron mind needed to conquer new challenges, embrace new opportunities, and create a life that is rich with meaning and purpose. He who is brave is free, said Seneca. When you choose to live life on your own terms, you are, in fact, embracing a form of freedom that many will never know. You are becoming the master of your own fate, and in doing so, you are setting yourself up for a future filled with endless potential and success. As you move forward in life, remember that bachelorhood is not a retreat from life. It is a victory over the limitations that once confined you. It is the embrace of a life that is entirely yours to shape. With the wisdom of Stoicism as your guide and an iron mind forged from years of experience, you now have the power to master every aspect of your existence. This is the true essence of winning in life. The victory comes not from living up to someone else's expectations, but from the freedom to live life on your terms. So, let go of any doubts. Take control of your future. Embrace your passions. Focus on what matters most to you. You've earned it. You are in control. It's your time. If you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step toward creating a life of freedom, purpose, and personal mastery. Most men never reach this point. They stay stuck, waiting, compromising, and never truly living for themselves. But you? You're ready to break free. Comment below, I am embracing my freedom and mastering my destiny. Let's hear your commitment to living life on your own terms and taking control of your future. 7. Fear of settling for less than what you deserve. As men reach their 40s, many high value individuals find themselves stepping into a powerful realization. They will not, under any circumstances, settle for anything less than what they truly deserve. This isn't about being demanding or unreasonable. It's about having the clarity that comes with years of personal growth, hard earned success, and the confidence that comes from knowing their worth. These men have worked diligently to build their lives, whether it's their career, their financial independence, or their emotional and mental well being. They have invested time in themselves, developed their masculine energy, and learned what it means to be truly fulfilled. They understand their standards are a reflection of the effort they've put into becoming the best version of themselves, and they won't compromise that for the sake of settling into a relationship that doesn't match their life's vision. For these men, the thought of being in a relationship that doesn't align with their goals or stifles their growth is simply out of the question. After all, they've spent years working on themselves, refining their values, and honing in on what truly matters. Why, then, would they let someone or something come into their life that drags them down, keeps them stagnant, or worse, forces them into a box that doesn't fit their true self? It makes no sense. They know what they bring to the table: strength, confidence, intelligence, emotional maturity, and a drive to continue growing, and they're not about to lower those standards simply to have a companion. In fact, they'd rather remain single and focus on the things that bring them joy, satisfaction, and fulfillment. Marriage, for these high value men, is not about finding a quick fix for loneliness or filling a gap in their lives. It's about finding someone who genuinely complements them, someone who challenges them, someone who shares their vision and values for the future. These men aren't looking for a partner who will just fill space in their lives. They want a partner who enhances their journey, someone who will grow alongside them. They don't see marriage as an obligation. It's a mutual bond where both partners contribute to each other's success and happiness. If the right woman isn't there yet, they aren't willing to settle for a subpar relationship just to check off a societal box. They would rather continue living a life of freedom, excitement, and independence, all while attracting women who are in alignment with their life's mission and who can genuinely meet their needs, intellectually, emotionally, and physically. These men know that the right partner will come when the time is right, but until then, they're content with their single status, driving on their own terms. They don't see being single as a failure. They see it as an active choice, a decision to maintain control over their destiny and to ensure they are never compromised by someone who isn't right for them. Choosing to remain single for a man over 40 isn't a matter of being afraid of commitment. It's a matter of knowing their own value and not accepting anything less than a fulfilling, stimulating partnership. The very idea of marrying just for the sake of companionship feels like settling to them. They're high value men with a clear sense of self, and they won't let anyone diminish that. They've spent years attracting women who respect their masculinity, who are drawn to the life they've built, and who are capable of complementing their energy. Anything less than that is simply not worth it. If that perfect match doesn't exist, so be it. They'd rather stay single, living a life of freedom, fulfillment, and independence. And if you're a woman who aligns with their vision, you'll be part of their world, not the other way around. That is the power of knowing your worth and living unapologetically. These men are not settling for less. They're unapologetically embracing bachelor life forever because, quite simply, they know what they deserve and won't settle for anything less than the best. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. It's important to recognize that for men over 40 choosing bachelorhood, it's not about giving up or failing to adapt. It's a choice about reclaiming autonomy, peace, and self-preservation. These men have carefully considered their options and have chosen a path that prioritizes their own happiness and well-being. And honestly, who can blame them? Life is about making the decisions that serve you best. So, if you're in a similar place or just wondering about the choices of those around you, remember, there's no one size fits all path to fulfillment. Embrace your own journey and don't let anyone dictate what's best for you. Take care, stay true to yourself, and see you in the next video.